because we're going to have Savannah White on. And we heard a lot about causes and reducing plastic consumption and caring about the things that our customers care about. Every merchant that we've had on, I think, had a very strong cause oriented to the brand. So today we're going to talk about how to incorporate cause marketing. And then I truly love Shopping Gives as a platform because it makes it easy to incorporate donations directly into your site, into revenue, into it can prove ROI. And I think I say this every time, Savannah, but the number one thing I love about when you can find a charitable cause that is ROI positive, right? Where it can be continued to be fulfilled with the growth of the company without actually costing us money. It can actually make us money and do very good in the process. And when you find something that does that, you have to promote it. And that's why I have the team from Shopping Gives, and Savannah is here with me. Savannah, how's it going?
Hi, Derek. How are you? Thanks so much for the kind introduction, and completely agree. We always want to help give back so you can do more with those dollars that you're making and do better for the community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I always love the platform, and I know that you guys are continuing to evolve. So I'm looking to see what's coming from you next. I'll bring the slides in and I will hop out here and let you take over.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the event so far. My name is Savannah. Like Derek said, I'm the head of partner success at Shopping Gives. And today I'm going to be speaking with you on how you can build your beauty business with social impact, or look good, do good, and do well. First, after the year that we've had, I'm sure everyone knows that social impact is at the forefront of consumer minds right now. COVID, BLM, we had the Australian bushfires, if you can remember, so far back as to January of last year. The new generation of consumers is really buying with their values and voting with their wallets, and they're demanding that brands do more than just turn a profit. They want to see them do good for the community as well. Historically, this has been pretty difficult to do. Cause marketing has been a difficult space to kind of enter into. There's a massive buying power with conscious consumers, but less than 1% of retailers are activating on cause marketing. And some of those reasons are because of the difficulty of measurement, the difficulty to get customer input into how you want to market those causes, and the actual difficulty that goes into actually finding nonprofits to partner with, those minimums, and how you're actually going to give back. That's why we created Shopping Gives. We're a social impact commerce platform. We help retailers of any size give back to nonprofits of any size, and we want to make it as easy as possible for you to focus on the good that you're doing as opposed to how exactly you're going to do good. So imagine, for example, you're shopping a brand that you love and you notice that there's a little widget that says you can choose a cause of your choice for them to support with your purchase. You go in there and click whether it's the band boosters that your kids are a part of or the puppy shelter that you got your furry friend from. We make that possible at Shopping Gives. We allow retailers to bring their customer into that journey. As I'm going to be speaking on cause marketing for most of this presentation today, there are 4 must-haves that you have to keep in mind when you are donating a portion of sales. And I just want to set the table with that first so that we all are at an even playing field. So number 1, you have to register and file the correct agreements. This varies state to state for commercial co-venture solicitation agreements, but you have to have those in place in order to be giving back in each of those 50 states. Secondly, you've got to be transparent with your customer and share the amount that's going to be donated on their behalf. It's not enough to say net proceeds or net sales. It doesn't provide enough value or transparency for your customer on what's actually being donated. So you have to show that dollar amount pre and post purchase. Third, just as you as a brand wouldn't want anyone using your name and logo in marketing, nonprofits function the same way. So you need to make sure you're getting permission from them if you choose to use their logo in any of your marketing. Finally, probably the one everyone knows is that you should definitely be keeping detailed records of your giving for tax purposes and, of course, in case of auditing as well. At Shopping Gives, we cover all of these subjects, but in case you are curious to learn more, we do have a piece on our website that speaks to the compliance that goes into cause marketing and the regulation that goes into it. But as we've covered that part, the fun legal regulation side, I can move into the 3 power strategies for social impact success. So I always recommend when building out your CSR that you want to lead with authenticity and remember that engagement and personalization count, and then always take a look back and make sure you're measuring. First, my personal favorite, authenticity always wins. So if you are a brand that's building out your social impact strategy, you always should take a look first at your team and your brand values. In the beauty space, that might be, anti-cruelty, body positivity, LGBTQ rights. What as a brand do you stand for? And really important is to look at what does your team stand for. They're your micro influencers. They're your first line of defense. They're the ones that are going to really speak to this messaging for you and really defend it. So make sure they feel represented by whatever causes you're putting in place as well. You always want to share these brand values too. So we recommend that you have either a section of your About Us page or even an impact page to speak to the giving that you're doing or the mission that you have in mind. The one that you're seeing on the screen now is our partner, Dr. Bronner's. If you know this brand, you know that they're very mission-minded. They have an impact page that is really just goals for us all if we look at it. So they really break it down into what they support, who they support. And then they have special pages, as you can see on the right, that speak to specific initiatives. So this one was the Heal Soul campaign, which is when we started working with them. They were supporting psychedelic-assisted therapies. And when you bought a product, they donated to those causes as well. Outside of just on your website, you should also share who your team supports on social and other channels as well. It's important to remember that Pride is not exclusive to June. Breast cancer awareness is not exclusive to October. You should be sharing this message of giving as consistently as possible. And that's how you're really going to build that authenticity and credibility with your customers. Our consumers have more access to information nowadays than ever before. So they'll quickly be able to find out if you're just doing a special activation for a month or if giving is something that you have in mind year round. Again, Dr. Bronner's speaking to cruelty-free on one end and at a blood drive on the other, with team members actually in place there. So always share as much of a real story as you can with your consumers and with your followers. On the engagement and personalization side, we always say that a brand can take this in the crawl, walk, run speed that they want to. If this is something that takes time to ramp up, that's totally fine. But a pointer, if you want to start in a specific place, is always education. Just as we mentioned with the impact page and with your social media, we want to bring your customer into the knowledge that you're giving as early as possible in their journey. So we recommend a homepage marketing call out. If that's a hero banner, like this example from our partners Au Naturel for Giving Tuesday, that's perfect. We do know that the homepage can be expensive real estate for a lot of partners. So if all you can manage is an eyebrow, that's perfectly fine as well. The goal of this is really just to bring your customer into the knowledge that you're giving and making sure that you're sharing that story with them as soon as possible. Another great way to do this in other channels is to mention giving announcements wherever possible. In the middle here, we have Blind Barber, another Giving Tuesday activation. They do give back evergreen, but they increase their donation amount for Giving Tuesday so that the purchases customers were making made even more of an impact. For any of you who are paying extra close attention, you'll see that it does say we donate 20% of all purchases. And I did say in the 4 ways to give that it's not great to be vague in marketing, but with Shopping Gives, our widget auto calculates what that 20% is. So customers who do go to Blind Barber will be able to see that donation amount and they're fully in compliance and transparent. So if you were going to try and catch me there, good luck. We also had Ursa Major. So they did an announcement for their May activation where they were planting 2 trees for every order that was placed. So on the left, you'll see that announcement of the giving. The idea that the plan they were bringing into place was shared with all their newsletter subscribers. And then on the right, they were wrapping it up with how much they actually made as far as an impact. So close to 6,000 trees, which is pretty incredible. This is something that also gets built into their evergreen giving strategy. So not their only giving initiative, but one that they called out specifically. It's also important to reward your customers for the good that they're doing. If you have a loyalty program, we highly recommend giving rewards to your customers for taking that time to donate. Maybe if you have add-ons where customers are choosing to donate, or even roundups where they can take the extra money that's left over and add that onto their cart, you can reward them for that with loyalty points that you have in your existing system. With our partnership and integration on Yotpo, you're actually able to allow your customers to redeem those points for donations as well. And how this could work, for example, is if you give, let's say 150 points is $5 off, maybe that 150 points could be $10 in a donation. And that way you're getting rid of that liability of unused points while also giving your customers a chance to donate as well. Another great way, and something that we'll speak to further in personalization, is that your customers have their own values. They're their own individuals. And especially in the beauty space, we all know, based on foundation colors, skincare regimens, everything is very, very personal and very independent depending on who your customer is. You can actually enable your customers to have a one-to-one relationship where they can pick the cause that matters most to them. We have a database of 1.5 million nonprofits. So if you wanted to have your customer search there, you can actually say, you pick this cause and we'll give back to them on your behalf. When you're sharing this, as we've mentioned before, it's important to engage your customer on any channel possible. Again, we have social media here. Dr. Bronner speaking of that Heal Soul campaign. Kenneth Cole up top there, you can see speaking about COVID-19 and the horrible year that was last year. And then just special interactions that we have from other partners as well on the left side. Another great way to bring that personalization in and to build stronger relationships, not only with your customers, but with your influencers, is to influence with giving in mind. So if you're working with influencers currently, make it a part of their onboarding process to get an idea of who they care about and who they support. Then as a brand, strengthen that relationship with them by supporting that cause in your collaborations. So the one you're seeing on screen was from our partner Highline Wellness. They did a collaborative CBD bath bomb with Hannah Bronfman, who is a well-known wellness influencer, very vocal about Black Lives Matter, very vocal about voter rights. So they actually raised the giving amount that they were doing to these 4 specific causes: the NAACP, ACLU, Campaign Zero, and Equal Justice Initiative. And they worked with her to raise even more money for those causes that their customers, her followers, and them as a brand cared about. It's a great way too to discuss rates potentially if you work with influencers often as you're giving to a cause that matters most to them. You might be able to bring that down in negotiations. Now onto remarketing and personalization. 83% of millennials say it's important for the companies that they buy from to align with their beliefs and values. So how are you as a brand going to align with that specific customer belief? The greatest way that we can recommend that you first look at this is that the causes that you support already are going to have colossal followings online because of what they do. So you can see here for fighting hunger, animal rights, and LGBTQ rights, there are huge interest sizes on Facebook that you could target based on who you guys support online. How this could work, for example, is Feeding America. If you wanted to make a digital ad that said every purchase online goes back to fighting hunger, you can target customers and potentially acquire new ones by setting this out. And when they come to your site, you're already giving back to that cause that they have aligned with them. Then you have all that information for remarketing and potentially get a new customer out of it as well. Bonus point number 2, if you paid attention to the 4 ways to give, I did say you couldn't use nonprofit logos, but we have a partnership with Feeding America and we have rights of use for a logo for them. So we do have that covered as well. For targeting customers that you already have as well, you can re-engage them based on the impact they've made in the past. Let's say you're supporting those 3 causes we went through: animal rights, sustainability, and fighting hunger. You can create audience pools based on those nonprofit categories and then target your customers again with that affinity in mind. This is also really helpful insight so that you can better allocate budgets. Let's say your Planet Advocate customers are spending way more than your animal advocate customers. You can then rearrange and realign budgets that way to make sure you're targeting the right customers, the ones who are spending the most with you. Which segues us perfectly into measurement matters. This is true in more ways than one. The first I'm going to speak to is that you should definitely not leave your customers hanging. If you say, we're giving back 1% or 20%, or we're giving back to plant trees this month, make sure that you tell them how much of that actually went back. So Ursa Major wrapping up their activation with how many trees were planted. On the left, you can also see for an evergreen strategy last year, one of our partners was actually sharing the dollar amount that had been collected up to certain points for the COVID-19 relief. This is a great way to make sure your customers are aware that these donations are going through. We also really recommend, if you can, quantify how those dollars are being spent. So a great example with Ursa Major, if you've raised X number of dollars, how much does that equal in trees planted or meals served or plastic recycled? Find a way to message that impact with your customers, and it can be really, really engaging for them to see how your giving back is actually affecting the community positively. And just like Derek mentioned as I was hopping on, we always want to enable retailers to earn more so that they can give back more. We know that you guys are in business to make money, so we want to make sure that you're able to do so while still keeping social responsibility in mind. We like to do this with RODS, our playful spin on ROAS, or return on ad spend. Our customers have seen an average lifting conversion of up to 19%, 23% in average order value, and even an 18% increase in lifetime value. So it really does show that doing good can mean doing well. We also have Google Tag Manager event tracking so that you can see how your customers who are engaging with impact are delivering as far as KPIs and key metrics go. You can see how they compare impact focused versus non-impact focused. Our Shopify app also provides you with a dashboard where you can track AOV lift and customer engagement in real time. But to wrap up, if you're building a social impact strategy from the ground up, we always mention, keep in mind that authenticity wins. An evergreen strategy is the best way to remain authentic with your customers and to show that you're mission-minded. As you've built out this strategy, engagement and personalization will really take you far, making sure that you're showing your customer that giving and bringing it back to them as often as possible. And then finally, measurement matters. So as far as how much you're doing, the good you are doing, how you're affecting your community, but also how impact is impacting your bottom line as well, and how doing good means doing well. A bit about us, if you are curious about Shop and Gives, is that we integrate on Shopify with our app or on other platforms like Magento and BigCommerce. We're completely native and can match your site and your style. We want to be the vehicle where you can do good and give back, but we definitely don't want to be too prescriptive. This is your dream and your goal, and we're just here to make it happen. We manage donations fully from collection to disbursement and cover all regulation for you. And then we always take a look back at your data and business insights to see how impact is affecting your bottom line. We're working with top D2C retailers already to manage their corporate social responsibility, but we're always hoping to grow our giving economy. So if you have any questions, feel free to check out our website or shoot me an email at hello@shopandgives. But I do believe we have a bit of extra time left over, so I'll pass it back to Derek. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to hang on and answer.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got one pressing question that is that I still I know the last time we talked, I know the answer, but I'll let you answer for at least international selling.
Yes. So
is it US based? Sorry.
Yeah. So at the moment, we have the 1.5 million 501c3s that are based in the US. So they're all US nonprofits. However, we do have a lot of international nonprofits. So UNICEF is in there, World Wildlife Fund, all of those sorts of things. We also have friends of nonprofits. So if you wanted to give to a nonprofit who will then divert those funds to other countries, you can do so. But we can support internationally. It's just some of those smaller nonprofits in other countries are a little bit difficult to find.
All right. So be honest with me. What's your international expansion plan here? Are we going to go to Europe and hop on their nonprofit list? And
listen, I will be the first to tell you, Derek, when that's happening, because I'm waiting for our London office to open. But hopefully very soon we'll be able to move over. But as I mentioned with the regulation, it does get a bit more complex. So it might be a second before we've got all the tiny nonprofits in all the other countries. But
I feel you on that. I absolutely love this platform and what it enables merchants to do, and what it enables consumers to do as well. Yeah, I love the proof in the sense that we can see how the results stack up and what we're able to do. With that said, we've actually got we're like somehow. Beverly says we need you in the UK. I agree. That could be the best next step. UK and then all of EU. And I know that there's I bet you guys are looking at because there's an updated list of nonprofits in the United States, right? It's like all the nonprofits are on a list. You're able to scrape the list and tie directly into it. So we got to go to the next country where that list is like publicly available and you can stay up to date with it.
Yeah, definitely. And Beverly, we do have a way on our website to check for nonprofits. So if there's one you have in mind, we can enable you. So feel free to reach out. It's just a little bit more complicated, but there's probably a way we can still support.
Amazing. Awesome. Cool. With that said, yeah, how did we get 20 minutes ahead? We were 20 minutes behind just 2 hours ago, but now we're 20 minutes ahead. But Savannah, I'll let you go. And I've got some quick plugs to make before our next session.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Derek.
Talk to you later.
Bye.